The following program is brought to you by Causenta.com. Get better, perform better, look better, feel better. Discover the root cause of what's holding you back. Visit Causenta.com. Welcome to 1-800-MAN-SHOW.com with Dr. Tom. Dr. Thomas Incledon is a former world champion strongman who's taken his competitive drive and converted himself into the world's leading men's health expert, producing science fiction level results for men who desire to be bigger, faster, stronger, smarter, and healthier. Dr. Tom learned the hard way that while our healthcare system was designed to just let you get by, men like you demand more. After testing over 40,000 patients, Dr. Tom discovered the best way to help you is a combination of science and common sense applications fueled by his hand-picked technology and instrumentation, which Dr. Tom assembled to create the most advanced facility in the world, Causenta. Each episode, Dr. Tom shares cutting-edge data and information from his life as an athlete turned scientist and research uncovering solutions to help men increase testosterone, get their libido back, lose weight, feel great, and heal their bodies, reverse aging, and live the life of your dreams. This isn't another idea show that sounds great but does nothing to actually produce results. You will personally feel this show is the best information you have ever heard, unless, of course, you are on the payroll for a pharmaceutical company. And now, here to help you produce your man show and discuss results that matter, the kind that'll make your friends envious and jealous, your host, inventor, storyteller, scientist, and secret weapon of the stars, Dr. Tom Incledon.
Hi, my name is Dr. Thomas Incledon, aka Dr. Tom. I'm an average guy that figured out how to set world records using exercise and nutrition. I'm going to share with you the secrets that can help you to feel awesome and look good naked. Hi, this is Dr. Tom Incledon, and I'm here with a really good friend of mine today, Alex Goldstein. I would describe Alex as like a hidden gem in the world of wine. He knows more things about wine than I probably know molecules about cancer. So, Alex, thank you so much today for being here with me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom. It's great to be here.
So today's topic, is something that I don't think you have an issue with, but I get a lot of questions from guys all over the world. It's about how do they know if they have low testosterone issues? And just off the top, is there anything that comes to your mind when you hear about low testosterone?
Well, it's interesting because I hear of a lot of people that are taking testosterone, and I don't even know that they even have low testosterone. I feel like, they just kind of see some thing on TV and think, oh, those sound like my symptoms, and they start taking stuff. So, to me, it seems like either it's an epidemic and it's everywhere, or people are overdoing it and they're thinking that they have this issue. So kind of starting from the beginning, what's going on in the big picture with testosterone? Is low testosterone becoming more and more of a problem for more men, or is it that more people just think they have this problem?
Yeah, so it's a really good question because a big picture, I would say this. One, anytime one guy does something and his buddy sees he got a good result, naturally they're like, oh, I got to try that too, right? So there's definitely like a monkey see, monkey do, or a copycat syndrome type thing. But if we look at the data on testosterone levels in men as they get older, what it shows is like the levels go down. And the way that information has been interpreted and shared by, let's say, doctors and scientists, everyone else, is kind of like, hey, as you get older, your testosterone levels go down and there's nothing you could do. So the only option is to take testosterone. So lots of guys are hearing that and thinking that. I don't believe that. I don't share that philosophy. One, because I measure more things than any of the scientists or doctors saying that. And what I found is that the reason why testosterone goes down with aging is because lots of guys don't do the stuff they need to do to keep their testosterone levels up. So as you get older, and if you were low in zinc, for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, guess what? Your testosterone levels go down. But now if I were to find out you were low in zinc and then get you some zinc or whatever other micronutrient you were low in, well, guess what? Your testosterone levels go back up. We have 90-year-old men with testosterone levels over 1,000, and they're much higher than their younger counterparts that don't have all their micronutrients adjusted. So,
can I interrupt you just for a second? So what exactly is a micronutrient versus a macronutrient?
Yeah, so a micronutrient would be things like vitamins and minerals. A macronutrient would be things like total calories, fat, carbohydrates, or protein. And the micronutrients are really critical because things like vitamins and minerals determine if you have the enzymatic machinery, or meaning if you have enzymes that help make testosterone. So
I've been taking multivitamins and lots of other supplements for a long time. And I know from experience that even though I've been taking these things and I'm supposed to have my nutrients all great, that I can still be low on some things regardless of this. So I think it's important for other people out there to know that just because they've been taking all of these vitamins for a long time, that doesn't necessarily mean that the levels that they have in them are going to be right. So can you talk a little bit about how somebody who, eats a balanced diet, takes lots of vitamins, can still be low on some of these foundational micronutrients?
Yeah, so essentially, it's kind of like this. So imagine you have a car, you fill up the car engine, the fuel tank rather, with gas, but you don't drive it anywhere. That gas lasts a long time because you're not using it. You also don't use any windshield wiper fluid, and you don't use any oil. But now you decide, man, I got to start working more. You start traveling a lot. You're driving 100 miles a day, maybe more. Not only do you go through all that gas, but you also start using up the windshield wiper fluid because you're encountering conditions where you need a cleaner windshield, or it's getting dirt on it, and you burn up oil. And it's very similar to how nutrients are in the body. The nutrients are not static. They're not like something you take in and magically they stick somewhere and never get used. The nutrients are kind of like the gas for your cells. So as you increase some of them and that improves your metabolism, well, then other nutrients now get used up that weren't being used before. And so there's kind of like this wave of use on all these nutrients around the body, and there's no magical rate that they're all being used at. So depending on if you're running in a hot environment or a cold environment, or if it's a humid environment, that'll determine things like sweat loss and how much B vitamins and electrolytes you're losing. If you're lifting weights versus, let's say, doing cardio, that's going to determine where most of those nutrients go. If you lose them through the skin, if they go towards making more muscle. So there's a lot of factors that determine the rate of utilization. And then you get things like if maybe the food you're eating that you thought was nutrient dense isn't. So there's no guarantee there's vitamin C in orange, but you hear a lot of times eat whole foods because it sounds good, but there's no law that says nutrients have to be in the food.
Right. So that's really helpful. So, okay, so if I understand, what you're saying, it's really that this micronutrient stuff is kind of like the foundation of the house. And you need to know that that foundation is solid before you even start thinking or talking or worrying about testosterone. Did I get that right?
Absolutely, yeah, because testosterone, think of it as like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
You don't go to say, give me a cake with just icing only, because then it's no longer a cake.
So the people that are out there taking, testosterone supplements or whatever, without having done their homework, so to speak, and really looking at their micronutrients, they may be putting the cart before the horse here. And so what's going to happen to them, let's say, if their micronutrient profile isn't right, and they're deficient on some key things, and then they start, taking supplements to try to boost testosterone. Yeah. Will the supplements or the process not work for them, or will it just cause other problems? What happens?
So if, let's say, you're taking testosterone to solve what you think is a testosterone-related issue, because their testosterone levels may have been measured and may have been low. So by taking the testosterone, they're going to feel pretty good the first 30 to 90 days. But after that, they're going to hit the consequences of being low in the micronutrients, which would still be low because they weren't addressed. So over time, they're going to feel worse, and they're going to wonder, how come my buddy feels great? He's taking testosterone. How come I don't? And there's one point that we didn't really touch upon I'd like to make is that, testosterone replacement therapy is a good revenue model for many doctors. It doesn't require a lot of their time. It doesn't require a lot of thinking. So essentially go in, doctor does one test or two tests, writes you a script, and now he's whacking your credit card every month without having to see you, and he's getting you testosterone. That's not really the type of doctor you want, because that's a doctor that's looking at you as ching-ching, money. You want a doctor that's going to take a genuine interest in your health and your well-being, and is going to stick it out with you to figure things out. And the way you could kind of decipher, like, is this a good fit or not with me, your relationship with your doctor, is If the first thing he wants to do is put you on testosterone, that's not a good relationship. What he should do is figure out why your testosterone is low naturally. And then if now, let's say he does some therapies like micronutrient testing and then you take some supplements and you don't respond, then you would proceed to taking testosterone because your micronutrients would already have been addressed.
Okay. Well, this is really fascinating, and it's great because I think a lot of people, are basically jumping to conclusions about what they need. And it sounds like there are a lot of medical professionals who either have financial incentives to not understand this, or who maybe themselves might not have the level of training on nutrition. So before we even really get into the details of how these testosterone treatments might work, I'm a little bit curious to know what are some of the most common symptoms that you see that would lead you to believe that people might have this problem.
Well, people have so it's going to be guys, right? If they have low testosterone issues that we're talking about now. The symptoms they can have could be all kinds of things, but the most common ones are weaker erections, poor sleep patterns, declining a libido, poor performance in the gym, so like they're getting weaker or they're losing their endurance, and there's just a decreased enjoyment with their quality of life. What people can do, though, to prevent all this is make sure they have a relationship with a doctor that's going to commit to testing them and then planning their strategy based on the actual lab results as opposed to rushing ahead and putting them on testosterone right away.
And do you ever see circumstances where somebody is exhibiting low testosterone and just by solving the nutrient problems, testosterone sort of fixes itself, or do they always need to do a second step?
Well, so if we address the nutrient issues, in the vast majority of guys, like over 90%, they won't need testosterone. There's always, though, there's the guy that maybe has testicular damage and doesn't know it. Well, then no supplements are going to fix that. Like he's going to need to get testosterone replacement therapy then.
That's really fascinating. Well, thanks for taking the time to discuss this, and hopefully we can chat a little bit more later in more detail about this important subject.
Oh, yeah. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for listening. For show notes and links to anything discussed on today's program, visit 1-800-MAN-SHOW.com. If you'd like to order the best supplements on the planet, make an appointment with Dr. Tom or call the show. Dial Dr. Tom toll-free at 1-800-MAN-SHOW 24/7. Leave a message with your first name and where you're from and include your question, comment, or concern. Who knows? You might end up on the air with Dr. Tom. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher. The link is posted at 1-800-MAN-SHOW.com. Remember, you can get better, perform better, look better, feel better. Discover the root cause of what's holding you back. Share Dr. Tom with guys you know who are ready to fire up your man show.